are watching the Daily Dose Plus, and this is Upon Reflection. I am Andy Spike. Well, today is indeed a very great day because we are here in the studio with two dynamic young people who are going to be discussing some great things with me. But before I go ahead, I'm just going to take time to introduce them. Who do I have here? The lady and gentleman in the studio. But of course, they say it's good to start with the ladies, so they say ladies first. And of course, you can see her beautiful smile. And the lady with the beautiful smile is Fatima Muloshi. She is a BSc holder in accounting and finance from the American International University, West Africa. She is an entrepreneur that deals in a lot of businesses, such as graphic design and printing, selling outfits, and running a modest modeling agency. Fatima, you are welcome.
Thank you.
And of course, with the gentleman on my left is no other than Mr. Baba Ceesay. Baba Ceesay is the CEO and founder of the Balanced Crew. He is the former country coordinator of the Global Youth Parliament Gambian chapter. He won the Best Leader Award Global Youth Parliament in Nepal, Thailand. He is currently head of GYP Africa. He's worked at GD Bank for over 6 years. He is a former commercial manager of Afronaut, the project coordinator of GCCA SGP Support Gambia project. He's also the former business consultant of The Observer. He backed a BA in public administration and certified accounting technician. So Mr. Baba Ceesay is also a host of a TV program called The Balance Show on the national TV GRTS. He is currently the chairperson of Ecomansa School of Business at the University of the Gambia, a research trip on agriculture and climate change. Mr. Ceesay hosts a program on Capital FM to advocate for peace, harmony, and women inclusion in politics, which was sponsored by UNDP Peace Front. He's also backed by, this is the very interesting part. He has a black belt in Taekwondo. Can I say, wacha? Wow. Well, lady and gentlemen, you are welcome. And like I said earlier on, you are watching the Daily Dose Plus, and this is Upon Reflection. We appreciate your participation, so let's begin. I said it by introducing you, but I'm going to throw my first question to you. How would you define the current state of youth development in the Gambia?
Thank you very much, Andy. It's a pleasure to be here, the Daily Dose. And I hope I'm not dose.
You're good.
All right, I just want to take my time first to greet every youth out there. And of course, everybody that is watching presently, wherever you are. Like he said, my name is Baba Ceesay. I'm the CEO of the Balance Crew. And of course, the balance, as everybody knows it. The question is very important when it comes to youth development in the Gambia. Now, youth is, if you look at the Gambia, over 60% of the Gambian populations are youth. Now, in fact, from the age of 14 to 25 or 35 is believed to be the highest voting percentage in the Gambia, over 58%. Now, if you look at youth development contribution in terms of national development also is very, very high, because if you go to most of the department, they are youths. Now, youth development in the Gambia, trying to calculate the importance of it, you might not be able to get the scales properly, in the sense that Gambia, everything you talk about when it comes to development scales, most of the sectors are all youth. So youth development in the Gambia is very, very important. If I'm to define it very well, I would say the youth development in the Gambia is the backbone of the country's development. If you look at the 2018-2028 youth policy in the Gambia, it tried to define the youth's contribution to national development. And that simply tells you that now they're giving more attention to the youth. And that's exactly what the policy was trying to address. That since we are the largest when it comes to the population, it is important that the government to pay attention when it comes to our development.
Do you agree with what he's saying? What's your take on that?
Well, I would say compared to before, now we would say it's better, because before young people, we are not even considered, even though there is still improvement needed for us, because if a country wants to grow, they need to, look at their young people, because that is where the future of the country lies. Yeah. So if you don't develop the youths, then where is the country heading to? Yes, but currently we will say, yes, it's a bit better compared to before.
And you're certain of what you're saying right now?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, I am certain of it, because he mentioned the youth policy, and before there was no youth policy. It's like we were all left behind, but there is still improvement needed for us. Yes.
So what specific initiatives or programs do you believe are necessary to, you know, promote youth empowerment in this country?
Yeah, if you look at currently, like you said, I have a little bit objection on the side of presently when it comes to youth development. Yes, the government is doing well when it comes to YEP and others, but there are other areas that the government is not focusing on, which currently I've seen the Minister of Higher Education is coming in, which is, you said, promoting skills and semi-skills and also innovation. Very important. Now, focusing on the youth cannot be just by mouth. It has to be action. And we have seen YEP has done a lot when it comes to contributing to youth development in the Gambia, because most youth started business through the YEP project and other projects that is initiated by the government of the Gambia, which he rightly mentioned, compared to before. The difference that we have is that, like in the past, because the youth policy started in 1988, and this is the fourth one, which is from the 2018 to 2028. This policy will run up to that. The problem of the youth policy is total inclusion of youths in the Gambia. Now, if you look at the youth policy, maybe me and you were youths, and there are other youths out there, they don't even know about it. And that is a problem. That's a very big problem, because it's like you are just putting a document together, making it scientific, very nice, but the youths are not aware of it. So that is something that is not put away. So one of the initiatives that they can put forward is to promote more of awareness of what entitled the youths. Like, if I'm a youth, I need to know what represent me.
Okay.
Then understand. And in the Gambia, there are a lot of projects or a lot of things that are happening that youths do not even know about it.
But now, you were saying youth do not know about these things. But my question is, are the youths trying to find out to know about these things that are in place for them?
No, when you say find out, it's different from when there's a responsibility on the shoulder of an institution that is established by the act of government and solvented by taxpayers' money. The same youths are contributing to that taxpayer.
So now that you're contributing towards that taxpayers' money, why can't you find out? Let's say, for example, you're my studies teacher. I'm paying you money to teach me. You're not coming. What do? I still sit and fold my hands?
No, there are youths finding out, but I think sometimes too, they do certain things, put it secretly.
Okay.
So at the end of the day, if you don't post it online or advocate for it or inform the people, it might be difficult for youths to get for it. Like certain youths, obviously, they are not interested in anything. Most of them focus on football. Some will focus on other areas. So they will be like, okay, when it comes to governance, politics, I'm not part of it. But I'm telling you, that has to change. That kind of thinking has to change, because politics affect you wherever you are, whether you are a footballer or whether you are even somebody robbing in the street or wherever you're doing. They understand that politics affects you, because politics have to do with governance and policy making, and all these things affects you, direct or indirectly.
I mean, there are a lot of young people who will still complain and say, oh, the government has no plans for us, they don't care about us. And government, they say, okay, we're giving out scholarships, we're giving out these initiatives, skills trainings, and still some young people will still say, you know what, this is not what I want to go to Babylon, and that's where I want to make my money. What's your take on that?
Well, I would say these young people, maybe they don't have the right people to talk to. And also, when you talk about support, it's not all about giving somebody money. Giving them a platform, a space, to showcase what they can is also a support. Baba, you mentioned sport, but sport is also very important because it will take the country's name to another level. And look at the young people that are venturing into sports; they're also doing great. So I think no skill need to be ignored. All of these young people, they have great things that they're doing. Everyone on earth has something in their head. Even the youths at the ghetto. They should not be ignored. When you talk to them, dialogue is very important, because every person has something in their head. When you talk to them, ask them what they want. Because if at all there's something for them here, they will not think about the back way. But when you are seeing that everything is hard, everything is difficult, you don't have the space, you'll be frustrated. And sometimes when these opportunities come, I feel like sometimes they give it's by whom you know.
Yeah.
Because most of these young youths are not benefiting from it. And like Baba mentioned, awareness is very lacking. Here, access to communication or access to information is very, very low in this country.
I totally agree.
Yes, when things happen, you don't know it. Unless when it has already passed, and then when someone asks you, were you aware of this? You're like, no, I've never seen it before. I didn't see it on TV. I didn't hear it from the news. So it's like, who are the people benefiting from this?
Yeah.
Yes, so that is a very good thing.
Yeah, I think I want to come in there, if you don't mind.
Yeah, sure, go
Just
ahead.
there's a point that is very important in terms of the government not paying attention to it. is protecting works or jobs that meant for the youth of the Gambia. Now, when you talk about youth, we have youths that are from other countries coming here. And of course, ECOWAS has given that privilege whereby you can allow people to walk in and out, trade in and out. But there are also measures that the government is not taking, especially at the Department of Immigration. Now, many people are coming in here all over the world, they understand that. And some of them don't even have skills, they don't have anything. They just come do rabba as we're talking about. Now, when you talk about the small sector businesses, like the SMEs, government needs to protect it for the youth of the Gambia. Because, like, for example, you don't want your youths to travel, but you need to have space for them to think, space for them to sell their products, space for them to have a bigger market for themselves. Now, when it comes to the small scale, the SMEs, the government need to protect it, and the government is not doing that. The SMEs are dominated by the foreigners. You understand that? And that is not good for the Gambia. We invite investors. Investors are very important in the country, but investors at certain magnitude.
Yeah.
But when it comes to SMEs, you protect that for your youths. I'm not saying 100%, but like, let's say 80%. And the government is failing to that because the market is saturated. Now, today, if Andy wants to think of a business, he will be like, okay, there are a lot of people there. You understand? And a lot of those people that are there are not even Gambians. You understand? And some of them come here without papers. Now, what is immigration doing to protect the border? That is one thing. What is also the government doing to make sure that they have very high, strong foreign policies which protects the jobs? Now, look at the tuk-tuk today. During Jammeh period, he was doing well, protecting the commercial industry when it comes to transportation. Only Gambians ride taxis. But today, it's mixed match.
Sure.
So obviously, the market is saturated, and then the government is not doing any protection when it comes to the youth. So therefore, it will be very difficult for youths to think in a very saturated market and expand their innovative ideas.
Hold that thought. I'm just going to come back to that. Now, answer this question with a yes or a no. Do you think education has a role to play in youth development in the Gambia?
Yes.
What about you?
Yes.
Now, rate the education system in the Gambia.
Well, the education system in the Gambia currently, when you see some government officials or partners are really investing into education system, but when you look at the percentage, especially when WAEC pass or these IGCSE and so on, a lot of young people are failing. Because sometimes you don't even know who to blame, whether it's the parents, whether it's the teachers, whether it's the school system also. So I would say, like, our education system needs to be well structured in a sense that, the policy of the Gambia.
Wait a minute. You said the education system needs to be well structured.
Yeah.
So I said now it's not well structured.
Well, it is
your take.
Okay. Yes. Because when I say that, it's because a lot of young people are failing. You don't know where the problem lies. But in a sense,
I'm going to keep stopping you for a while. So where do you think the problem is? Personally, you think it's from the system? You think it's from the students? Where do you think the problem is coming from?
Well, for me, I would say the system, from home, school.
Okay.
Because, these young people, when they're trained from the grassroots, from the foundation level, they would definitely know what they are supposed to do. From the home training as well. When you tell your child, like, go to school, you have to do this, like, you guide them. But nowadays, most of the parents, they don't even have time for their kids. You don't even ask whether they have done their homework or, So I would say it's everywhere. Now, when you look at the education system, we are saying the youth population policy of the Gambia define youths as aged between 15 to 35 years. So when the youths reach 15 years, they need to, be guided by their career so that when they graduate immediately from high school, they can know that this is what I am going to venture into. Not everyone will be able to go to, university or work in offices, but from a very young age, you train them skills, you get them exposed to career development so that immediately they graduate, they will know that when I graduate, this is what I'm going to venture into. Look at the young people out there. They don't even know what they want to do. They don't even know where to focus on. They don't even know where to start. So where is the future of this country lying in? So the education system need to have skill training, need to have entrepreneurship skills at the very young age, because entrepreneurship makes a country to hold their future in their own hands. When a country hold entrepreneurship and venture into entrepreneurship and invest into entrepreneurship, it will make them to stop, importing from other countries, and this will help the country to grow. A lot of things will be cheap because we are providing it in this country. So the youths also need to be exposed in that so that when they grow, they will be familiar with it. But you will not wait until somebody grow and then you want to put something in the person. It will not work.
Yeah, you cannot teach an
Yes.
old dog new tricks, they say.
Yes.
From what I'm gathering here, our education system is basically failing us.
Yes.
Yeah, do you agree?
Not really
Okay.
agree, because there are a lot of graduates at the university. Because if you go to the university today, most of the lecturers are Gambians. So the education system have not failed us totally.
Okay.
When you talk about failure, we are talking about what are we graduating? Do they fit for the purpose of what they are graduating? Because of course you're talking about investment. Now, if companies come and invest, they need human resources. Whether the university is ready to feed them with the quality of staffs that they need. Now, that particular point is a very important one. Now, the education is there, yes. Attitude is what is lacking. And people fail to understand one thing. If you are educated and you lack attitude, morals, then it reduces your intelligence and skills in terms of what you want to deliver. Now, that is the point that is lacking right now. The other point that is also lacking is teachers at the junior level. Now, most people don't want to teach at the junior level, true or false, because there is not much motivation packages that the government provide. The government needs to provide highly motivation package for the younger ones. If you are teaching at the primary school level, they should pay you higher than anybody. The reason why? I'll tell you.
Why?
The reason why is because that young one is a foundation.
Okay.
A building gain its strongness when the foundation is strong. True or false?
True.
Now, if the foundation is not strong, what do you expect? You're expecting those babies to grow with mentalities at the junior school level to high school and university. If at the junior level they don't have good mentality, what do you expect of them to be at the highest level? So that's why the government need to motivate lecturers or teachers at the junior level, so that everybody will be, now the good ones, like if you graduate with masters or PhD, instead of you even going to the university you want to go to the junior ones, probably to teach them morals and other skills. You understand? But at the end of the day, our young ones are just say, okay, don't mind them. They will grow up. When they grow up, they will return. But definitely, that is where our problem is. That's why you see more failure in that area. And when they come to the university, they have good grades.
Yeah.
The problem is at the university they can snatch their way out. Either like we have seen people buying resources. You understand that? So at that point in time, they already have that maturity, so they will buy their way out. But when they are young, when they are skills, they're natural, and they grow up like that, definitely when they deliver, you know that these people are natural. They understand that. That means they adopt it from young one, from the young stage. But of course, our youth today, my goodness.
It's something else.
Yeah, our youth today.
I've been speaking to some parents, and what usually their concern will be, for lack of anything, proper name, and I'm just going to use these names as examples, not anything that's really special to me or anything. Penda and Pate. So Penda has graduated, but then she just wants to go to Babylon to go and study, or she wants to go to the UK, she wants to go to Germany to go and study. Pate too has graduated, he also wants to go to Germany to study, or he wants to go to America to study. There's University of the Gambia here, by the way. But then they do not want to go there. Is there a reason why our own people do not want to attend these institutions? Because if we, like you were saying, we need to support our own. And for example, if I have graduated with good grades and I can be accepted into the UTG, why shouldn't I go? Why should I fold my arms and say no if my parents can't take me to the UK or to Scotland or to Germany or to Cyprus, which is now very common in the Gambia, Cyprus, Canada. Yeah, I wouldn't go. So then you see some of the parents who say, oh, well, I want you to go to UTG. Then now the students will tell you, no, I don't want to go. So now they stay at home. When they stay at home, they're stressed out. And what happens next? They're going to the streets. Now they're taking drugs. They're doing things they are not meant to be doing. And at some point, there's so many of them involved in these things that you realize that a lot of older people, the older generation, have now just washed their hands to say, you know what? This is above us now. It's too much. And I think this is the reason why sometimes you realize they're not really supporting us. What do you think are some of the things that we can do to make sure that, well, if you have an opportunity back home, take good care of it so that if a better opportunity comes and meets you on the way, it becomes an add-on? What are some of the things you would like to comment on this thing?
Yeah. First thing is that what is the motive behind them want to go to Europe to study there?
Because maybe their friends are there, or they think after that they can get a better job and earning dollars or euros or sterling.
So if that is the motive, it's a good motive. I don't like, for example, going to Europe to study there is not a bad motive. It's a good one. But what is bad is when you don't have what it takes to go to Europe and you want to force it out. That is bad.
Now, good.
Yeah,
Good.
that is very bad. Now, in this sense, that will bring your mindset down because you will have stressful mindset and you will be in the street. You will not have that kind of, whatever is in you will go down because you will be more of angry. And then at the end of the day, you will not be productive in the society. Now, what is essential going to Europe compared to studying here?
And by the way, people who are watching, I'm not against anyone traveling, leaving the country to go and study in Europe. So don't come attacking me. I'm just saying a lot of parents will confide in me and say, this is what they're facing. So we just want to talk about this as a group and as young people too, so that we can educate ourselves out there.
So at the end of the day, if the child study here or study in Europe, for me, I think it's all the same. Because at the end of the day, the only difference is that Europe, their university.
Baba, what if the parent can't really afford it?
Yeah,
you know, some kids are there like, small papa, I'm not Harley's, but if my banya fail.
Yeah, some say that.
Like they know what's in the account, but he's not that with me or maybe I'm not other plans.
Yeah. If your dad cannot afford it, why will you go? You see, that's where the moral attitude is. You see, if you don't train your children with attitude, then they will rise to rebellion against you. They understand that what you put in the soil is what you eat. They understand that. So at the end of the day, if you have children and you don't train them, you make them like, you train them as Westerners. We are not Westerners. I want to remind the people, we're not from the West. We have a beautiful culture in Africa, whereby our young ones grow up with moral attitude and respect their elders. That's what we have. So if you have a right, then understand your right has a limit. And that limit is your children, your parents will provide you food to eat, shelter, and everything. The rest is for you to behave with manners. So if your parents say they don't have it, why will you force it out? It's like you are forcing your own future. And force itself is not a good term for anybody to apply in any dimension when it comes to productivity.
Well, it might be a cliche now, but they say with rights comes what? Responsibilities. And I'm going to take us back again. But this is, upon reflection. So we are trying to reflect what we are seeing in society. And to remind you, you are watching the Daily Dose Plus. And so,
we are already dose.
We are already dose. The dose is just kicking in. You see a lot of young people from primary school, like he said, they're not passing the examinations. Junior school, they're not passing. High school, they're not really passing. But then they're very good at planning for prom. They're very good at planning for inter-schools, inter-house. Why is this a thing?
Yes, like he readily mentioned, like from the grassroots, if you don't put, this responsibility in these young people, train them very well, they will not know what to do.
So who is not training them?
The home. Starting from the home, the school, because like I mentioned, now most of the parents, they don't have time for their kids.
True.
I think it's because
I think they need to bring back mass beating, where we beat the children very well.
No, I think it's because the country is very hard that everyone is focusing on how to, live.
Yeah, to make ends meet.
Yes, how to make ends meet. So if you go to work from morning till, late, and then you come home, you will not even have time for, your kids.
What can be done to make sure that some of these, because you look, from that stage when you were a toddler, growing up to a little boy, to a youth, to adolescents, it gets crazy and tighter to change their mindset when they are already old. And then that's where we have the problem. Then we say, there's no youth development. Because by the time they're youth now, how can you develop them? Because they don't really have the proper foundation.
No, there's a problem in the Gambia that I want to talk about. This is something that nobody talk about. Gambia, we like enjoyment.
Particularly,
enjoyment is not bad. Enjoyment is not bad. It's part of social events. And social events of enjoyment is part of life. But what is bad is over-enjoyment.
Wait a minute. So there's enjoyment and there's over-enjoyment.
Over-enjoyment.
What is over-enjoyment?
Because you are talking about children's more active when it comes to parties.
Okay. So that one is over-enjoyment.
That's over. Like when
this guy.
Yeah, exactly. Because if I am more active than party than my education, that means I'm over-enjoying.
Okay.
Then understand? That's what I'm doing. I'm trying to over-enjoy rather than being more productive.
Okay.
Then understand? And that is something that is happening. Now let me tell you one thing. If you have a very good good initiative, and that has to do with development, youth, and everything. You see hardly people support it. But if you have whereby people can go and enjoy themselves, you know, dance the whole
Everyone will
night.
support
You
it.
understand? I'm not saying people should not support it, but people are more focused on it.
that.
They're more focused on those kind of initiative than initiative that are more productive, that has impact in the country. Than, like for example, you will see a foreign artist from Senegal will come, and people will be buying a table of 300,000, 400,000, and they will be posting everywhere. You think we are not giving the same inspiration to our young ones when they also want to go and have a prom night and then have a nice things and all that. These prom things and everything, they are not our culture. They understand that we must embed, we must bring back our youth to understand their culture. Our culture is beautiful. And if you don't know your culture, you will not know where you're heading. That's why they are lost. They understand that they're heading lost. If the road is they are going north or south. They're not going in the right direction. And because we are inspiring them to do people's culture that are outside, we're not Westerners. Let me just remind that.
All right. So far, in as much as we are discussing all of these things, what are some of the things that we can look around and say, you know what, our young people are trying. You're doing very well.
Well, currently, I would say a lot of people are venturing into a lot of activities, especially sports, entrepreneurship, you know, agriculture. A lot of young people, some are trying though, because when these youth projects come, they check at people who are into agriculture and entrepreneurship. Even though like some of the youths, normally they are not aware of it. Like we mentioned, access to information is lacking, but still improvement is needed. But most of these young people that are venturing into entrepreneurship, they don't even have a space to operate. Most of us do this raba. Yes.
Yeah.
So what I would advise the government and, you know, other partners to do is to introduce a youth loan scheme with little or no interest to help these youths to be developed. You know, even if they're
What
going to
you're
pay
saying
back.
is very interesting.
Yes, even if they're going to
And
pay back.
there is a youth loan. It's called the revolving funds.
Who is benefiting from this?
Yeah, the revolving fund, there's a, you know, like I said, one thing Andy said is that whether youths are also tapping the information is that the revolving fund, when it started, they have a radio program, but they don't do effective sensitize. That one I know. But the revolving fund is there, which is up to 500,000. It's only meant for youth.
Okay.
You understand? It's 0 to 500,000. And then the problem is youths take this loan and they don't pay back. And when you hear the word revolving, it means you take and pay back with little interest, like you said.
Yes, so
the interest is just
balance
10% and it's based on reducing balance. It's like the more you pay, the more you pay. So it's with SDF and NADI. They are having the revolving fund. So if youths are out there, this is an opportunity for them.
Of
I
course,
think they will be
yeah.
dose with this. Then
Let them take these dose
Yeah.
on the daily dose plus.
Yeah, so the revolving fund, like she rightly mentioned,
Okay.
is there. But I will allow her to continue. I have a point on what she was about to say.
Yes, because when these funds are given to them, it will help them to develop. Like Baba mentioned, most of them, they don't pay. Maybe there are not good mechanisms that is going to guide these young people to, you know, pay back these loans. Because when someone wants to empower you and the person tell you, if I give you this, you have to pay back, definitely you put in, you know, focus so that you can pay back. But when it is a grant, then they can use it to buy cars or, you know, use it anyhow because they will say, I'm not going to pay back. Yes. Even if your family member tell you this is a loan, because my sister, if I want to do something, she will tell me it's a loan.
Yeah.
Because she knows when she said, take it, I will not put it in good use. But if I know that this is something that I have to pay back, definitely I'll put it in good use. So the youth that normally misuse it, maybe they don't know what they want or they don't know where they want to head to. That is why they misuse it. But somebody give me money to invest into something. I would definitely make best use of it. Not all young people are like that though. A lot of young people are trying, definitely. They're doing their level best. Yeah, so when the government invests in this thing, especially the ones venturing into agriculture, yes, when we are producing our things in this country, everyone is saying the country is hard. It's because everything is being exported from other countries. You know, they're importing things from other countries. If at all we are producing everything here, then we will enjoy.
Yeah,
Yes.
exactly. When you talk about youths are doing well, what are the things that they are doing well? Let's take, for example, you've seen Wally Sen. He's an innovator.
Yes.
He's doing something that can bring a lot of change in this country.
Oh, yes.
You see another youth there that's trying to change the narrative of chicken that we are even eating. And I think you've tested that rabbit thing.
This guy.
Also, you've seen a lady, what's her name again? She's producing tea. And look at the packaging. The packaging is excellent. The packaging is, I forgot the name. But that young lady, Yahare, yes. That packaging is world class.
Yeah.
And that tea can be compiled and be even exported to other countries.
Yes.
Because they are natural products. Now, youths are very innovative. You see, there's one thing about Gambian youths they are very talented. They're very talented.
That is very true.
Yeah.
Yes, they're
That
very
is very
talented. You know, the problem is there's this training for us when we are young at the childhood time. Maybe Andy was lucky to be trained with another society that has that zeal. They give you that confidence. But for us, in our society, especially our Mandinka society, you are suppressed to follow. So you don't have that will to go out there and say, excuse me, can I say something? You're always like, keep quiet when elders are talking. You're always like that. So they suppress you when you're that young. So you look so naive. You grow up like that.
Yeah, this is definitely a contributing factor.
You understand that? So you can see them. They have the talent, but the confidence is lacking. You understand? The confidence is lacking. The other aspect of it is the government. You understand that? We cannot say youth without criticizing the government. And I'm telling you, if the government is watching this, these are positive critics. Government need to understand that for you to develop this country, cannot go without the youth. Because over 60% of your populations are youth. Most of the contributing factors in terms of development here, they are youth. So therefore, if you invest in youth, you're investing in the future of the development of this country and the present development of this country. So what are the level of investment of the government commitments to this cause of the youth development is small. Now, don't worry about the budget that they gave us, 90 million. The problem is, what are some of the initiative government take from the taxpayers' money? Because there are a lot of high tax rate charged by the government currently.
Oh yeah.
And we are suffering from it. You understand? So therefore, what percentage of that tax collected is pumped into youth development? That's a big question. And if government can pay attention to this, if you invest in your youth, you will develop your country within 5 years, you will develop your country. Massive investment on youth development. Protect them, not only fund, not only cash, but also protection and good policy that will guide them. You understand? Because you're not protecting them. You're allowing foreigners to compete with them. And most of those people are more skillful than our youths in terms of SMEs. But our youths can be more talented if space is given to them.
True.
So protecting them, also giving them cash for them to start their own business. I think if this is put together, Andy, I'm telling you, next minute you will see youths driving, very responsible youths in the street. Because if people are responsible, they don't have time to go and rob people.
And also maybe something that we need to put out there is sometimes as a young person or as a youth, young person is a youth, right? You may want to start something that you're doing, but then you start once and it fails. You do it for a second time and you fail. You do it for a third time and you fail, then you give up. There's no need for you to give up. Keep pushing. And I think one thing that we really don't encourage in this country is partnerships. Everyone wants to stand alone as a young person and then move alone. If we do that, we will never move forward.
That's true.
Sometimes partnerships are necessary and it will help us move forward. So this is food for thought. Once you know that you are trying something and you cannot do it alone, talk to a few people you think may be able to help you out. And once you guys come together, you share your ideas. Maybe this person is good with finance, this person is good in communications, the other person is good in just, PR, the other person is good in graphic design. Come together, form a force, and then see what magic will happen.
That's true.
And then, so I'm just going to ask this question now. So in your view, what are some of the ways you think that government can address some of these things? Because I guess they are not communicating effectively. What are the ways that you think will encourage government to say, you know what, talk to the young people and then, communicate better to them? What are some of the things you think they can do?
Yes, to engage the media houses and also do a lot of sensitization, because when you say young people, even the people in the up countries, a lot of young people are there. So when they do a lot of sensitization in the local level as well, so that these young people will also know what to venture into. In the up countries, you can introduce skill training. You can teach these young people with a lot of things, such as sports, from the grassroots level. Look at the young person, see what the person is good at, guide them on that path, teach them, groom them, so that when they grow, they will stand firmly. But when you see someone doing something at a very young age, you ignore them without guiding them, then definitely they will fail. So the young people that are out there, what I would tell them is to keep pushing. Like you say, if you fail once, it doesn't mean you should quit. And partnership sometimes here, in order to come together is always the problem, because the people you normally see yourself into, mostly when you approach them, they don't give you that space. Yes, because since I started my event back in 2019, I've been struggling with that. But thank God this year I was able to get a partner. But some people also, it's not because they don't want to partner, it's because people don't give them that opportunity to partner with them. Yes, but for me, like, if I see somebody who wants to partner with me, definitely I will
Why
want to,
not?
because I want to grow.
Yeah.
If you want to grow, you have to come together, because like they say, two heads are better than one, especially many heads coming together. You will definitely grow, because each of them have their networks, each of them have their contacts, people they know. So when you form a business, each of them will bring their customers and all of that, then all of you will definitely grow. So the best way to grow is to form partnership. But if you don't have the opportunity also and the space, people don't welcome you with open arms, then definitely you will be crawling alone.
That's true. Baba, your take?
Yeah, when you talk about government rules to youth development in terms of what are some of the strategies they can increase, first, government have to look internally. Those that represent us, you understand that they are very important. You see, people said, I don't care who represents us. But who represents us is the person that send your voice or whatever information you have to the president. Now, if you have youth advisors that do not have the hearts of the youth, if you have youth advisors that don't know much about youth development in this country, how do you expect those people to represent the youths? Let's talk about first, at that point in time, the channel of communication from us, the youths, to the government. We don't need to be on social media every time insulting, and that's not a good way of, let's just be wise as youths. First thing we need to negotiate with the government and say, look, Mr. President, we want people that can come to us, we tell them our problem, and they call to you and tell you the problem, not what you want to hear. Now, those that represent us is first the government needs to work on. They should not be political. They should be development oriented, because if the government understands very well, one of the most important resources the Gambia don't have much natural resources.
Yeah.
So one of the most important resources Gambia have is human resources. And human resources, the most active resources, the youthful population, which the Gambia have. So how do you now harness that resources into meaningful ways to develop this country? Is first for them to be represented by people with goodwill of them. If for them to be not only represented, also for them to have their voice count. Every young person in this country, their voice needs to be counted. The person in the world inside, mechanic, let me tell you one thing that the government is not hearing. The mechanic side is having a fault in the sense that they don't give them voice for them to speak. But if they speak, they will tell you that most of the electronic cars that they are attending is problematic because they don't have the machine. They don't know the know-how. How can government now elevate them from that, building their capacity in order for them to match with certain people that have the machines, and they're not even Gambians? That's why many people want to go to those expensive mechanics.
Yeah.
You understand? The carpentry, how do you make a house? We have timbers here. In fact, we have the most beautiful timber, is the red timber. We have it here in the Gambia. Now, how do you now create a hubs? Hubs can employ more than thousands youths. Bring all these youths together in one hubs for them to build most expensive, valuable, strong furnitures. Do you know that our furnitures are stronger than the one coming from outside?
Oh, yeah, sure.
Then do you know what is left is the modeling. And the modeling, you just need to build their capacity, they adapt, and they will change that. Now, all these things are important. Now, but if your youth advisors are only telling you that we are going to win election, you understand, we'll make sure that you win election, we'll make sure that this youth group, they support us, then they are not focusing on the development of this country. And if the government can bridge that gap, focus more on productivity, you don't need, when the election comes, you don't need to campaign. People will vote for you.
Yeah. If you had one opportunity to implement one innovative idea to enhance youth development in the Gambia, what would it be?
I think I rightly mentioned that before. There is the youth loan scheme.
That's what you're big on.
Yes.
Okay.
Because you cannot, give people free to be doing things. If you give them that, obviously that is an opportunity for them to build something. Because if you want to start anything, you need finance. Yes, anything you need to start, you need finance. Even if, they don't give you the money directly, but the space they will provide for you and everything, they are financing it.
Okay.
Yes, so that's
your take. Baba, what about you?
For me, I will say government to force one thing that is very important is for them to stop the importation of drug in this country.
What do you mean importation of drugs?
There are a lot of drugs coming into this country, especially cheap alcohol. In fact, I don't mind mentioning the supermarket that is doing that. They know it very well. I don't need to mention it. You understand that? They know it very well. You know, there's a supermarket that is selling alcohol $15. You expect the young ones will not afford that kind of drug? If the government can stop the importation of drug and make very firm laws that will protect anybody using drug and make it very hard, very, very hard for that matter. You're caught with drug, you are jailed for 15 years. Make it hard. If people don't listen, you make things hard. You make the laws hard. You understand? Government stay on that. If not, you know, the reason why I'm saying this, maybe many people will be surprised, but I'm telling you this. If not, we will have rebels in the next generation coming.
Wow.
Because we'll have strong headache young people that don't listen. Because there are a lot of youths out there that are into drug abuse. In fact, they have different kind of drugs. Some of them, they call it bugawi. You understand that?
Is this the pills?
Yeah, these are pills that they take. Some of them, they join it, they mix it with the alcohol, you know, and they will take these things, and it makes them strong headache and block their cognitive brain that help them to think wisely. You understand that? So in this sense, if many of them, because I know a lot of groups of youth, and these are not small numbers, they are a bunch. They understand, they're into this hash, you know, the hash I'm talking about, you know, marijuana with hash. Now they're adding more chronic on it. They're adding more powerful stuff on it.
More chemicals.
In fact, they're using cocaine. I don't know where they're getting these cocaines. You understand? And most of these youths, they're getting mad. If you want to tell me, I'll tell you there's a package of new madness in this country, whereby you go to Westfield, you see new young person every single month or week or 3 months, you see them getting mad. And sometimes I used to ask the guy there, I said, is that one a new one? He said, yes. You understand? Now, if that is the case,
sad.
and that is the trend in this country, where young people are abusing drug at its highest level, getting strong, killing each other, the future is not clear.
Then I think the drug squad have a lot of work to
The
do.
future is not clear.
I
We need to
mean,
look
the
into
drug
that.
squad have...
Yes, they
def-
have to be around, especially around the Senegambia area, to be monitoring these young.
Because if you're talking about the revolving funds, you want those youths to harness it. Will you want youths that are into drugs to harness those funds?
But from a very young age, before they get exposed to these drugs, when you train them, you know, put things in their head, they will definitely know where to go.
I think that's better. So,
Yes.
but before doing that, as far as they can access it easily, then there is no way.
Then there need to be a stop to that.
I can say there are beautiful things during the Jammeh time. Some of the beautiful things was he was very strong on those areas. You understand that? But present government is they're not. Listen, this is an advice. I'm a citizen of this country and I love this country. And when I criticize the government, I criticize them positively. Drug abuse is getting at the highest standard, the highest rate in this country, and government has to put a stop of it. I'm telling you, you will be seeing rebels in the next generation. May God forbid.
God forbid, God forbid. We're definitely not praying for that, but I guess that's food for thought for government. So if anyone is in government and you're watching, Baba has said it, that we need to really look into the laws when it comes to drugs in this country, because we are losing a lot of young people. And I myself, I can attest to this. I know a lot of beautiful minds out there, but now I can't even relate to them anymore because they either gone insane. Some of them don't even remember me anymore. And this is as a result of taking hard drugs. And I think something needs to be done. A lot of parents out there are crying. A lot of siblings out there are crying. Family members are crying that they're losing their loved ones because of drug abuse in this country. And most of the time it's just peer pressure. Sometimes you just want to taste. Sometimes they even go to parties, and some of these people don't even know that their drinks are spiked. So if you have kids out there, please, before they go out, talk to them.
Especially the female ones.
Oh yes, they don't really know. They don't really know what's going on. But I think something needs to be done with regards to this. Well, people, I want to say that you're watching the Daily Dose Plus, and I'm in the studio with Baba Ceesay and Fatima Muloshi. But before I let them go, I just want them to just give me one-liner before they go.
Yeah, one thing is important. We're talking about youth development. Of course, Gambia is the right platform because 60%, over 60% of this population are youths. Investing in them, you're developing this country. If I am elected as the president of this country, which can happen one day,
Of course.
I will definitely focus on youth development. That's going to be my number one priority. I'll make sure that youths are highly developed in this country. The reason behind that is because I know if I develop them, their parents will be developed and their siblings will be developed. There's no doubt about that. That is one thing. The second thing I want to say is that youths, please, let me tell you one thing. This country is yours. It's a roof floor. You are under it. Your parents are under it. So we need to build it together. If you bond it, it's going to come down on you. You understand? And please be productive. These drugs you are taking or some of these insane things you are doing in the society is not about Batman thing. There's nothing Batman thing. I'm more bad and I'm still wearing a nice dress. I'm still responsible. Yeah. They understand that. But I want to be a good man. I want to rest. I want to contribute to the development of my country. I want tomorrow when I die, people remember me of, oh, what a good person. That's what you want to do. It's not difficult. You see, there are certain products that are very cheap and God give it to you for free. That is one. You can go to the market, you will never buy it. And that is one: determination, hard work, focus, vision. These are very important. Sometimes if it is too hard, it gives you more ways of thinking. You know, I've seen people that are very poor and today they are very rich because they were thinking and they were very determined. And these things, they use it for free. What is not free is when you spoil yourself. Yep. When you cut the limit of your future. That is not free. That you're definitely going to pay for it. With that, I want to thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Baba. Yes. Well said. All right, then, Muloshi.
Yes, what I would say to all the young people out there is to take responsibility. You know, when you are given opportunity to do something, hold it firmly. Because not doing anything is worse. Try to do something, whether it's little things, little business. Because once you are not doing anything, you will feel useless from home. Before the society even realize that you are useless, you're people at home first. Every day you are at home not doing anything. As a young person, when you are growing, you should know what to do, especially when you graduate from high school. Try to, go to do skill training. If you don't have any opportunity to do that, tell your parents, this is what we want. Sometimes I feel like dialogue is what is lacking at home. Parents don't talk to their kids. They don't know what they want. Some kids, they will even be very, shy to even talk to their parents. So if you don't know what your child is going through, how can you help him or her? So you have to definitely dialogue with them, ask them what they want. Like my mom always say, like, none of my kids will kill me. You just tell me, what do you want to do? You focus on that. If you don't want to do education, you focus on what you want to do. Then we guide you through that and then you grow. Because like I always say, not everyone will be able to go to university or work in office. So it's very important to take responsibility and do something. Just do something. The little things you do matters and it will definitely grow. Doing something will make people to respect you. And respect is not something that you can buy. You earn it for yourself. Yeah, thank you very much.
Well, Baba and Fatima, I want to say thank you very much for sharing your insights and ideas on youth matters in the Gambia upon reflection. Well, people, I am Andy Spike. I want to say thank you very much for watching, but don't forget to follow us on all our social media platforms. From the studio here in Fajara, we'd like to say bye-bye.